Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Slasher Movie Club Monday nights. I'm here. Coriander's with me. People in the live chat. What's going on, girl?
Not much. How you doing?
Look, man, we we have come to a moment, in my opinion, with this movie that we're going to be talking about tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about Your Next from 2011. Feels like it was so long ago. It really, really does.
Hmm.
Um, and this movie was one of those movies that kind of just it snuck up on me. Directed by Adam Wingard, who famously directed Godzilla versus Kong and some other things too. And so, anyways, let's see who we have in the chat, and then let's get going on this thing, man. We got great updates for the channel too. So for you guys in the live chat, thank you so much for hanging out here. Let's see. We've got Ronan is in the chat. What is going on, Ronan? Good to see you. Saying what up, night? You're the man amongst men, brother. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And Ronan also, well, we are going to get back to that in a second because we definitely got some updated news. But thank you so much, man. Seriously. We got my man Ginger Ninja in the chat, ride or die, saying,
Hey.
hey all, don't forget to like and share. And if you haven't already subscribed, you're next.
Nice.
That was good. Hey, let me just say,
That's a
man,
good one.
that was good. Let me just say something. My man Jason, he's all right, man, because
Yeah.
he messaged me. I got to show you guys this. I'm sure he won't mind. He messaged me just a few minutes ago, and hold on. This is what he messaged me, and this was so cool though, and we really appreciate all the love and support. He messages me this. Let's see if you guys can see it.
Uh, huh.
Anyways, he's literally showing me that he's ready to watch this
To what?
episode. He's got the Your Next in the background. I
Oh
mean, like
man.
it's so cool, man. We really appreciate seriously though, we really appreciate the
Nice.
support and the
Yeah.
love and the friendship and everything, man. And we're just humbled. We're just humbled. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. Um, Russell's in the chat. All right. We got Val. Val is in the chat, ready to
Hello.
ready to take care of business. The general, you guys know the rules. I won't play it, but you guys know the rules. You guys know what's gonna happen if you don't follow the rules. Great to see you, Val. Great to see you. Let's see. We got Nathan. Nathan's in the chat. Such a great movie here, folks. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Let's see. I want to make sure I catch up with everyone as much as I can. We got Melissa. Melissa's in the chat too. All right.
Hello.
And our good friend Dan's in the chat saying, what's up, my
Dan.
favorite people? Hey, you're all right,
Hello.
Dan. You're all right. All right. Polar's in the chat too. What's up, Polar? Great to see you. All right. All right. Lamar's in the chat saying, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
What is up? All right, all right. Cheers to Fears is in the chat. Holy crap, what's going on, y'all?
Nice.
Saying, oh hell yeah, so glad to catch this at the beginning. Good to see you guys. You guys check out Cheers to Fears if you haven't already. Great YouTube channel. Awesome. Very, very cool. And also Neil's in the chat. Neon Black reviews
Hello.
himself. Yes. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nathan saying my favorite subgenre in horror, the slasher subgenre. Same here. That's
Yeah.
that's why we do these movies in this series, man. Bullets in the chat saying evening, night, and Corey. What's going
Hello.
on? What's going on? Echo in the chat as well. What is going on?
Nice.
All right. Very cool. And Neil giving us his viewpoints, and Your Next is one of the best horror films of the last decade.
Yeah.
I totally can agree with that. Seriously.
Hmm.
Yes. Our good friend Eric's in the chat too, saying good evening, everyone. This one was a surprise, fun one for me. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. And we've got Steven craving something scary himself in the chat. What's
Hey.
up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Long time. Jeez, it's like I'm
Yes.
jonesing for you, man. We gotta like hook up sometime. Jeez.
Right. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. And Polar saying Erin is my second favorite final girl. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's amazing. So let's get going on
Yeah.
this a little bit. And we do have some channel updates to give as well. So Coriander, remind me about that. But I want to start this off a little bit.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this movie? Like if you can remember when you first saw it, um, What were your thoughts about it?
It was badass,
That's a good word.
this final girl is like, wow, it was unexpected and holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I
Mm,
love the way you said, man, look, I did not know what to expect from this movie when I first saw it. I'm so glad I did. It just goes to show you sometimes movies can surprise the hell out of you. We've seen that even with
mhm.
movies recently, especially this year, with a couple actually.
Yep.
And this is a movie I think every if you're a fan of horror, especially slashers, this is required viewing. This is required. You have to watch this movie. It is absolutely fantastic. Sharni
Yep.
Vincent as Aaron in this movie, who's the lead, um, literally is one of the most badass final girls ever. And you guys know,
Yeah.
myself and of course Coriander were huge fans of some really iconic final girls. But this
Hmm.
chick, it was amazing. But the movie opens up, and right off the bat, it doesn't play around. You've got this couple that are basically just obliterated the young lady first. You don't see the
Yeah.
kill on screen, but then all of a sudden you have that iconic shot of the dude who goes up to the window and he's thinking, What the hell is this?" And of
Hmm.
course, it's basically the sign saying you're next. It's such um, a very simple thing, but it was so effective. What did you think of that, Coriander? The opening, anyways, how it started.
Oh, yeah, it's like any typical movie, couple having sex, good
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
One goes in the shower, the other one gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I thought it opened up great. And yeah, I mean, if you see that, you're fucked. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it opened up real good.
It really, really did. And of course, you have the iconic Barbara Crampton in the cast as well. So you have like the old school horror roots in there and everything. But it really sets up as something that's very just interesting because you have that kill right in the beginning of the movie. You
Mm,
have this family that's getting together, and you can tell that they're very estranged from each other. There's a lot of tension,
yeah,
and
yep,
I got to give all of the actors so
yeah,
much credit because
yep.
they were really, really good as far as giving you that sense that something is off. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's a very good setup. It
And
really,
they were
really
out in the
is.
middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
man.
look at
Not
this
many
picture.
neighbors. Yeah, not many
Look,
neighbors. It's
dude,
like,
there
I
is
don't think so.
there is no one out there. There's not a human
Yeah,
being in like 1,000 miles. And let me just say
yeah.
something for our people watching. Never do that. Never be so remote because you're just asking for it. Um,
Unless you're well equipped to handle yourself.
That's right. That
Yeah.
is right, which of course,
Hmm.
Aaron is able to do, but we'll get into that in
Yeah.
a second. Let me just catch up to the chat, and I do want to throw out some channel news to you folks that I think is going to be really, really interesting. Cheers to Fear saying they absolutely love this movie. I totally agree. Totally,
Mm.
totally, totally. It's just one of those movies that just made an impression on me, seriously. Let's see. I want to catch up to the rest of you guys. Steven said, Yes, we must have a great campy watch party again soon, right?
Hmm.
Melissa hasn't seen this in a while. Melissa, you have got to watch this. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Anyone
Yep.
that's a fan of the slasher subgenre, absolutely.
Yeah. And kick-ass final girls.
That's
Yes.
right. Yep.
Hmm.
Matt's in the chat. Fachi sent him himself. Said, Night, my man, how the hell are you? And your next is straight fire. It is. It is. I'm doing good, man. Hope you're doing well too. Absolutely. It's an amazing film. Neil saying, I knew it was going to be a great movie because they correctly used your instead of your. I like that. I like
Oh
that.
no.
Neil, you're too funny, man. Hatcher Boys is in the chat too. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hmm.
Ninja saying AJ Bowen is a heaps underrated actor. Yes, as is Sharni Vincent. So
Hmm.
true. So true. Um, Cheers to Fear saying probably the best slasher flick of the 2010s, arguably even the best slasher of the 2000s altogether. Such a fresh modern take on the genre. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys,
Yep.
this movie is fantastic. It really is.
Yeah.
Bullet. This is funny. Every time I think of your next, that song "Looking for the Magic" starts playing in my head. Same thing with Coriander. Oh my
That's a
god.
great song, man, you
It is,
know?
man. If you guys could have seen her dancing to it, it was fantastic. It
Oh,
was
stop.
fantastic. But let me just throw this out there to
Mm,
you guys too, um, just for a little bit of channel news. Tomorrow night, we're gonna have. Oh, actually, let me start with Wednesday night. We're gonna be. We have a lot of folks here who have been um, supporters of the channel for a long time, friends of the channel. We also have channel members, Patreon members, and so forth. So on Wednesday night, we're going to be doing a special watch party, basically celebrating you guys and kind of just having some fun, hanging out. We'll have a few people on the panel. This will be something that we're planning to do multiple times. So if you're not able to make it, that's fine. But it'll be a blast. It's going to be Wednesday, and of course, we got to be talking about Stephen King. We're going to be doing a watch party of a Stephen King movie. We haven't announced it yet, technically, although some folks probably already know what it is. And if you know, you know. But it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. And anytime we get a chance to talk about Stephen King, we always enjoy it. So hopefully you guys can join us. It'll be this Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is up. So definitely. Hit the notification, hit the like, and so forth. And also tomorrow night, I want to backtrack a little bit. Tomorrow night, we're returning to our brass tacks episodes. We're going to have our good friend Eric on with us as usual, and we're going to be doing something different, Coriander. We are going to be talking about the
mm,
films of Johnny Depp, our top
yeah.
5 favorite. And this episode is
Mhm.
going to be dedicated to our good friend Ginger Ninja and also his lovely lady Joanne, who actually had this as an
Yes.
idea. So I
Mhm.
just want to throw that out to you guys. It'd be really great to see you guys join us tomorrow night. Support us, support these folks. And Ginger Ninja and Joanne, thank you so much for your continued support, love, and friendship. And we're dedicating that episode to you guys because it's so cute because both of them will message us and they really were big fans of some of our different types of episodes where we were talking about our favorite music, our childhood memories of cartoons, and all these different types of
Mhm.
things. So that one's gonna be for you guys, absolutely, and and Ginger Ninja, yes. I hope that you guys enjoy it, I really do. It'll be fun, there's no doubt about that. So anyways, that's some of the channel news. But getting back to your next, the setup for it, again, it's pretty interesting because 'cause you've got this family that is just you could just tell there's just so much going on. You've got multiple
Yeah.
brothers, you've got a sister, and you've got
Mhm.
the mother and father, mother played by the great Barbara Crampton, and they having a little meal, and all of a sudden, Coriander, the shit goes down and people are
Yeah.
dying. And you have this interesting twist on the idea of the home invasion. And
Mhm.
this is so fresh, guys, even to this day when we just rewatched it. I hadn't seen it in about a year or two. Um,
It had
this
been
movie,
years for me, like
this
many. Yeah.
Really? Well, this movie
Yeah.
still hits hard for me as far as its freshness. Coriander, what did you think of that
Mm.
scene when it all pops off with the home invasion with the family? What were you thinking of those scenes and how it went?
Yeah, that it was really good because, when that arrow first goes through the window, right?
Mhm.
Your brothers are still arguing. There's shit going down, so no one really even
Yes.
noticed what happened.
That's right.
And when they all finally see that, holy shit, their sister's boyfriend's, has an arrow through his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the mom's freaking, everyone's like, we're gonna die. And yeah, I mean, it was how any family, especially well-to-do family, anybody in the situation would act,
Mhm.
because yeah, how scary would that be,
Absolutely, no
Uh-uh.
doubt. And I mean, you have this fantastic scene where, like you said, everybody is just freaking out. It's very realistic. Um, what would you do in that situation? The way it was, the execution of it, in other words, was fantastic. It really, really
Mm,
was. People are reacting to it the way that you would expect. And this is a well-to-do family, so nobody is John Wick here. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
they're going to do what they do.
Yeah.
But and for you guys in the live chat, I know most of you guys have seen this, so we are gonna get into some spoiler talk as well. But when we have that scene where that first attack happens, and then you have the sister who is preparing to run out of the house to
Mhm.
get some help, get to the car, get to some help, because they're in the middle of nowhere. They are literally
Mhm.
on another planet. That's how far away from civilization they are. And
Right?
she's planning to run out of the house. When I first saw this movie, it literally made me yell, "Don't do that!" You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
of the execution. That scene was brutal. What did you think of that scene? Because that was a that was it
Yeah,
caught me
you
off guard.
knew. Yeah. Like I really wasn't I forgot about the wire, but I figured she's gonna get like her head blown off or something, you know? And
Yes.
yeah, when she ran and then was knocked down and you could see her throat was all slashed open.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was rough. And I mean, the look on well, the parents, I mean, come on, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's that,
It's brutal.
it is. And to see your children getting killed in front of you, to know you're in a situation where, holy shit, I can't protect my kids, myself. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. I mean, this movie, it's so good. And these
Yep.
actors and actresses did incredible. And yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And
it
like
was
these
good.
guys and like these guys in the chat are mentioning, Ty West was the one that got the arrow in the head. Of course, we're big
Hmm.
fans of his movies. It's just crazy. This movie has so much going on for it. Um, Eric saying Barbara Crampton just does not age. She still looks the same now as she did in Reanimator. A personal favorite of mine, Chopping Mall. Yes, yes, absolutely. No doubt about that. And she had a really nice little part in this movie. When I first saw this movie, I thought it was so cool, to see her in it because at that point, she had, a little bit of some downtime in her career, so it was great to see her at that point. And I thought she did a great job in her role. But that's the whole point is that you really get invested in this family, especially the parents. Like you just said, Coriander, when you start seeing your kids getting picked off one by one, that
Mm-hmm.
really sucks, man. It really, really
Mm-hmm.
does. But the practical effects in this were great as well. You've got the intruders, and they are menacing. With the mask, very, very. It's just cool. Everything about this movie, the way that it was shot, the
Mm-hmm.
music choices in it, the practical effects, and I just thought it all came together very well. And once again, we are talking about a final girl that kicked so much ass. It's not even
Yes,
funny.
you did.
Sharni Vinson, this performance, and we've talked about, and for some of you guys, only a couple of you guys have been around long enough to know this. Eric is probably one of the few, and Dan, but we did a really fun episode a long time ago talking about our favorite final girls. And I'm pretty sure I had Sharni Vinson pretty high up on my list. And
Mhm.
this is the only movie, this only movie that she's been on that's a slasher movie, as far as I know. But it was
It's
just
funny
such a great
because,
performance.
yeah, and I forgot all about this chick,
Mhm,
because
mhm,
I remember, I used to own the movie and yet
mhm,
I saw it the once, once when we bought it and maybe another time, but it had been so long in between that
mhm,
I forgot like, some shit. And
mhm.
yeah, unfortunately she was one of them. And yeah, she would have been on my list had I remembered at the
Right,
time
right. I
because
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, we come to find out as people are getting picked off one by one, the family members, is that her character, which is Erin, um, is very capable in these types of, traumatic situations. I mean, she's trying to help
Hmm.
people, get to where they need to be. She's saying a lot of things that just make sense, though, to me, like, get away
Hmm.
from the windows, duck
Yeah.
down, let's stay
Yep.
quiet, let's do this. She's a very take charge type of person, which begs the question that eventually is answered like how'd you get to be so good at as being a survivalist? And she talks
Yeah.
about how she grew up in a survivalist colony as a kid and
Hmm.
so forth before she moved to the states. So it's just a really cool movie. Everything about it is great. Let's talk about as we get to the twist in the movie, though, because that's the other thing too. There's a really cool twist in this movie that I think was really good because in a situation like this, you would expect people to get separated. Things are going,
Yep.
things are happening, and earlier in the movie. after the first attack, and then the daughter who gets, cut in the throat,
Hmm.
Barbara Crampton, the mother, is killed, which was like, oh man, don't do that. That sucks. You just feel bad for these people.
Yeah.
And the father's reaction was gut wrenching, you know.
Mm.
And you see his sons pulling him away. I mean, he just saw, his soon to be son in law and his daughter killed. Now he's
Not
seeing his
only
wife
that,
killed.
right, not only that, she like was like, "Don't leave me," and he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, I'm gonna go be with the kids," and
Right. Yeah, I gotta check on
yeah.
the kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So, as all this is happening, the sons, they kind of separate. And the thing that was interesting is in the beginning of the film, you see the relationship with Aaron and Caspian, and he was her professor in college and so forth. And they seem to be just, your average couple. They seem to get along really well. And of course, he brought her to introduce her to his family, so
Hmm.
everything is really, really interesting. But he decides to leave as well because he's like, maybe I can get some help. Now, we have another person who decides to leave, and we don't know what happens to them at first. And the people inside the house don't either. But she goes over to the neighbors, the nearest house. And of course, Coriander, what house is it that she goes to? The house that we saw in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, uh-oh, you went to the wrong place, chick. And of course, she gets killed as
Hmm.
well. And Caspian is out there in the ether. So in other words, this movie is really good with keeping you on the edge of your seat. It has really good pacing. I can't think of anything that I would say I didn't enjoy about it. But
Yeah.
let's get to where we get into the twist of it all, because Erin is doing what's smart and hiding. She's hiding and being tactical and so forth.
Hmm.
Well, we have this scene because she had killed one of the attackers. And we have this scene where one of the other attackers comes into the house. So at this point, we know there's at least two. She's assuming there's three or four because,
Hmm.
again, she's very tactical. So you see that one of the killers is dead and the other one is really reacting strangely to it, like really emotional. And she overhears a conversation with one of the brothers, one of the sons of the father and mother. And basically, you come to realize that this was a plot to kill the family off to get the inheritance money. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, what's going? And she's overhearing this. She's hiding. I think it's like in a cellar type of place, but she's hiding and can
Well,
hear
she
them.
was she was like behind curtains. There
Yes,
was yeah, yeah,
absolutely. So what what
yeah.
did what did you think about that? Because that was a pretty interesting twist. I did not see that coming when I first saw it. What did you think?
No way. I didn't
Mhm.
either. You could tell that some of the brothers obviously had issues with each other,
Right.
but what family isn't perfect?
That's right.
And it's like, yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. No, I didn't
Yes.
see
Oh
it at
my
all.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, it was crazy. And of
Mm,
course, they have no cell service, which was
yep.
another thing going on in the movie. But anyways, she basically, and this is going into the third act of the movie. In other words, she's literally on her own. Caspian is
Yep.
gone. Um, is it Crispin or Caspian? I can't remember. Anyways, he's
I think
gone.
it's yeah.
Yeah, he's gone, so she's literally on her own. The parents are done because the father gets killed too, but she doesn't know that yet. Aaron doesn't know it. So, in other words,
Hmm.
she has to outsmart the killers plus the brother and his girlfriend. And it's like, wow. And
Yeah.
so, you have a bunch of fantastic scenes where she's hiding, where she's, being smart and all these different
Hmm.
things.
Killing.
Man, she was killing with
Yes.
the quickness. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And like we always say, you get the job done, and she was getting it done,
She
and
was.
yeah, it was really good.
She was tactical. Cheers to
She
Fear
was,
saying, top tier final girl. She had the strongest survival skills and was straight
yep.
up badass. There's no doubt
Mm,
about that. Yes. Yep. Ninja saying, I think Ty West and Adam Wingard were working on other projects together around the same time. I think you're right. Yep. I think you're right. Um, And Polar saying the masks were terrifying, except the lamb one. That had me. That's kind of true too, man. Also saying when you when you see slow mo running in horror, it's gonna get bleak. It's true, but I can't lie, man. I really thought that she might have made it. Put it this way, I didn't expect what happened. I really didn't. It caught me off guard, man. Oh my gosh. Melissa saying I just watched John Wick this morning with Halle Berry. That's a good one. It
Yeah.
really is good. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. Yes, no doubt about that.
Yep.
Um, and let me just catch up to a few more. And Val, thanks for putting the link into the chat for our episode for tomorrow night, talking about the brass tacks, the best of the Johnny Depp movies. It'll be fun.
Mm.
It'll
Yeah.
be fun. Hatchet Boy is saying your next reminds me of the movie Ready or Not, but I like your next so much better.
Yep.
All right, all right. Ready or Not is another really really
That's a
good
good
one.
one
At
too.
at some
Yep.
at some point, we'll be talking about that too. Ninja saying this is why you don't mess with Aussies. I love it.
Oh
Um,
man.
and Stephen, thank you so much. Reminding folks, please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel. We'd appreciate it. Yes. And Val also putting up the link for our members, viewers, celebration Stephen King watch party. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Kyle's in the chat. What's going on, Kyle?
Hello.
All right. Val's working hard tonight, guys. Can we just show some appreciation for Val? Because I'm telling you, it's hard work, man. I appreciate it. But she's also putting in the link for our stream on Thursday morning, and our Thursday morning stream will also be something a little bit different, and also very special. So hopefully, you guys, especially in our community, I don't want to get too deep into it, but please stop by. I think it's going to be a very important stream in that sense for the community. Um, Let's see, and I think I'm caught up. All right. And Michael's in the chat too. What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. But she was just so badass. And she literally had some great fight scenes too, man. That was the thing that caught me.
Hmm.
She had a great fight scene with one of the brothers and his girlfriend right there, Z.
Yeah, she took them both on.
She did, man. They were
Yeah.
both fighting her at the same time. It was some
Hmm.
great stuff, man. But she did so many smart things, like in this scene when she was in the basement area and she was breaking the bulbs so it would be dark
Yep.
so the killer couldn't see her. And she had this camera that, and I won't get too deep into it for folks that haven't seen it, but she uses the camera as a weapon. And I was like, wow, good for you. She was just,
Yeah.
but it was very realistic the way she was able to fight. Like she wasn't like this superhuman. She got hurt. As you can see, she got beat up bad, man. Her leg, her
Hmm.
face, she got all messed up. But the way that she survived, I think was very realistic and it was great, man. But
Yep.
with all things, we got to talk about the other twist at the end because
Mm.
she basically kills the brother and the girlfriend. So I remember you said she's the last one. She's the final one there. All of a sudden, the brother's phone rings and she picks it up. She doesn't say anything. And who is it on the other line, Coriander? None other than her boyfriend, Crispin.
Hmm.
And it's like, and he's basically like, is it done? Is everyone dead? I couldn't stay in there
Hmm.
with you guys. I'm not violent, blah, blah, blah. So in other words, Aaron's boyfriend is in on this. And so you
Yeah.
find out this was a huge
Mm-mm.
plan between a couple of the brothers and so forth. And it's like,
Yep.
oh my goodness. It was just a great twist. Did you see that twist coming?
No. I
Okay.
mean, he seemed like one of the
He was
nicest one.
friendly.
No, yes, one of the nicest ones out of the bunch. The other one seemed like, the one that survived the long, who wasn't involved. He just seemed like a
He was a
troublemaker,
jerk.
an immature. Yes, yes. He reminded me of
Hmm.
just a little boy still. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was completely shocked,
I was
Yeah,
shocked too, man.
yeah.
And you know who else was shocked? He was too, because when he finds her,
Hmm.
look at the look on her face. She was really, I mean, again, this is a slasher horror movie, guys. So it's like, there's not a bunch of dramatic acting, but the physical things that she did in what she had, she was very effective because you can tell she just can't believe she's been betrayed by the love of her life.
Hmm.
And, she even said, "You were behind this. You knew that I could have died as well." And he was like, "Well, no, the game plan was everyone else was going to get killed and you'd be the survivor because you're not a part of the family." In other words, to
Hmm.
make it look like, it wasn't the brothers that concocted this whole idea.
Hmm.
I knew she was gonna kill him. And she did, Coriander. She did. He
Yeah.
tried to talk his way out of it. He had this like soliloquy that was like 85 years long, trying to tell her why she shouldn't kill
Mm.
him and all the
Mm.
reasoning behind it. And ultimately, did you think that she was gonna kill him?
You know, yes, because come on. He deserves it. He's evil, plotting to
He
kill his
is.
parents. I
He
mean,
is.
why
For
not?
money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Neil said, always follow the money,
Mm.
always follow the money, the bread, you know. And thank you, Val, for putting our link in for our merch store. Check it out. It's getting cold out
Mhm.
there. And Val herself has one of our hoodies and tested it out in Mother Nature and said it is fantastic, which made me feel
Nice.
so good. Yeah.
Nice.
Michael's saying, I will check it out. Yeah, this is a great movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
to. You've never
And we,
seen it? Oh, yes.
yeah, and we are talking some spoilers, so definitely be warned. Um, Dan, I'm loving my Nightwatch hoodie, sweatshirt. Thank you too, Dan.
Nice.
And Dan, I don't know if you were here when I actually put up the picture you sent me. It was a couple live streams ago, but thank you as well, Dan. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it, and that it actually is functional. That's the best part.
Mm.
Ninja saying this is top 10 slasher movie for me easily. Just a well-paced, well-written, well-crafted movie. Yeah,
Yep.
there's no doubt. It's worth it if you guys haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, you know, definitely catch back up on it. Polar saying
Mhm.
if you like this movie, Hush is pretty good too. Very true. Very true. No doubt. No doubt. But the other thing that happened at the end that was kind of an interesting stinger is while Aaron was setting up to kill the invaders, the intruders, she rigged up this axe, with a weight, with a brick
Yes.
on the door. So when someone would open the door, it would
Yeah.
come down and just kill them. And it was really cool because it made me think of like Elm Street a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when Nancy was
Hmm.
rigging the traps for Freddy and stuff like that. And of
Hmm.
course, she kills Crispin. She's the final girl. She's the one that's left. She's beat up really, really bad. And then at the end, of course, you have an officer that intervenes, shoots her in the shoulder or wherever
Hmm.
as she kills Crispin, because in other words, he thinks that she's the killer. And he opens the door, and the last thing you see is her saying, "No, don't." And then the axe come down and it hits him. You don't see what happens, and then it just cuts and says, "You're next." And I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, this movie is all right. It really,
Yeah.
really is. Um, just a fantastic movie. It's well, like Ginger Ninja was saying, it's so well paced. It like gets going right off the bat, but it does
Mhm.
give you time to appreciate and connect to these characters, which is so difficult to do in a horror movie. Um, any final thoughts on the movie for you? Because like I said, I know you hadn't seen it in a while, but you seemed to be very happy with it when you saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it had been, like I said, a long time, and I think it's gonna have to be like something I watch yearly just because it's so good.
It
And
is.
yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen this, you need to see it because
Uh,
this is
Yes.
like this is a definite in this the slasher genre,
Yeah.
definitely.
When I saw this movie come up on the list for us to do, I
Hmm.
was just like, "Oh my God, this is going to be fantastic."
Hmm.
Because this movie is just like these guys in the chat have said, it is up there. It truly, truly is. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic movie, no doubt about it.
Hmm.
Um, Let me just catch up to the chat as we start to wind down here. And let's see. Polar was saying Hush is super suspenseful. Main character isn't to this level, but still amazing. I would agree with that. I would agree with it. Yep. Lamar is saying this movie shows you how to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Michael saying, I want to see if this movie had deleted scenes. Yeah, I'm not sure if it did. If it did, I don't think I've seen them. I do have this on physical. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Let's see. Melissa saying the only hoodies I like are zip ups. I don't like pullover. They choke you at the neck. True enough. And we do have zip ups as well. We do have zip ups. We have just about anything you can think of on the merch
Yeah.
store. Long
Yep.
sleeve, short sleeve, tank
Hmm.
tops, zip ups, regular hoodies,
Yep.
blankets, everything.
Socks.
Yeah, socks. Geechee is in the chat. What's going on? Saying well done and well made. Thank you so much, and
Hmm.
welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're enjoying it. We're winding down right now, but yeah, Your Next is a fantastic movie. So we're just gonna say that. But let's get technical. And there are some folks that are jumping in late, so may not have heard everything we have been talking about. But let's give our rating on this, Coriander. And
Yeah.
Dan's going to love this. So we're going to do this a little bit differently than usual because I had the pleasure for you guys that have been with us a lot. I know Gina is a big fan of this. We did an episode on a movie called Murder Loves Killers 2. And this was maybe about a month and a half or so ago. And just today, I got contacted by the director himself, who
Yeah.
said that he watched our episode, he enjoyed our episode, and was really, it was cool. It was very cool because the director's Drew Barnard, very cool guy, very appreciative of us taking the time to do, an episode on his movie because it is an independent, lower budget slasher. And I was just really just like, wow, that's so cool of him, to just be so kind and humble. Um,
Mm.
but anyways, long story short, we're talking, and we might be able to have him come on the panel with us and talk about not only that movie, but he also has another movie that we'll be checking out soon. So I say this to say to you guys, thank you so much for continuing to support this particular series on the Nightwatch Zone because this
Yeah.
series is very it's a passion project, and it's a challenging series to do because sometimes we talk about movies that aren't at the level of a You're Next. When you put up a thumbnail and people see You're Next, people are like, oh man, that's going to be a great episode. But if we put up a thumbnail for something like, you know
Student
mur-
bodies.
student bodies, or Murder
Sorry.
Loves Killers too, I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
times people are like, well, what is that? I'm not going
Mm.
to watch that. So we really
Mm.
appreciate you guys supporting us no matter. And
Yeah.
that was really always my hope, is that people would enjoy us talking about anything, you know. But thank you guys. And Drew really enjoyed the episode, and a lot of you guys were chiming in and having great conversation in the live chat. So in other words, you never know who's watching. And I was
Yeah.
really, really happy that he enjoyed the episode. We were fair to the movie. We had some issues with it. We were being honest, as we always are, but he was very happy that we were being fair to his movie, and he knows about some of the missteps, but it's a low budget independent movie. And so anyways, good stuff.
Yeah.
So Coriander, for your next, this is how we're going to rate
Yes.
this thing. We've got 4 slasher movie club symbols, meaning it is excellent. It is absolutely excellent. Then we have 3, meaning that it is good. It's a pretty good time. We have 2, that it means that it's not that good. And of course, the dreaded 1 symbol, meaning it is dark territory. Do not go near that damn movie. So, which are you going with for your next?
Well, I think this is an obvious one. This is a 4. Yeah.
It is a 4, and I'm going with a 4 as well. There's no doubt about this. This movie is required viewing, in my
Yes.
opinion, for
Hmm.
any horror fan, especially if you're a fan of slasher movies. It is
Yep.
absolutely amazing. So that's where we're going with your next. And also, just to say to you guys as we're heading out, Michael saying I enjoyed this. Thank you so much. We really
Hmm.
appreciate the support. We truly, it means so much. Geechee saying, I'm going to check out those movies too. I love horror movies. Well,
All
this is the
right.
place. This is the place to catch up on horror because I mean we talk
Yeah.
about new movies, we talk about old movies, we talk
Old.
about we talk about movies that people don't know about, and it's a blast. It's an absolute blast, and we're so lucky to have this community. And on Wednesday night we're going to be having a really interesting watch party too. So Polar's going with 4. And Bullet said, it's easy. It's 4. Michael's going
Yeah.
with 4. Geechee's going with 4. I knew that this would, yeah, it's too easy. You guys are like 4, 4. And Gina, there's Gina. Gina, I'm telling you right now, if we get, and we're planning to, we get Drew on here. and he was just so appreciative of all of you guys that were in that live stream for Murder Loves Killers too. And I told him how it's been mentioned on other live streams, specifically you have a few times. So he was just so appreciative, and it was great to see that. So, Coriander, for next week,
Yeah.
speaking of an array of movies that we enjoy,
Hmm.
covering the spectrum, and also I want to throw this image up too of uh, Sharni in The Mask with Barbara Crampton. It was just really, really cool, and Adam Wingard. It was really cool to see them like this, kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. A really, really
Hmm.
cool movie. But for next week, your next is a modern masterpiece, in my opinion. But as usual with Slasher Movie Club, we go back and forth between time. So now we're going to go back to the archives from 1979. Next week, guys, we are going to be talking
Yeah.
about Tourist Trap,
Hmm.
starring the late, great Chuck Connors. And
Yep.
guys, this is going to be an interesting conversation. I don't want to say too much more than that. But we actually did this movie
I was gonna say
on
it's a redo.
on our old channel, and we
Yeah.
have to redo it, but we are absolutely psyched to be able to do that and talk some more
Yep.
about Tourist Trap. So that'll be for next week. So hopefully you guys, the idea is to have you guys check
Watch
out the
it.
movie, and then next week we'll have a conversation all together. um
Yeah.
Dan saying that's cool, bring them on, absolutely, no doubt. Neil, it's a trap. Michael saying, I'm going to make sure I don't miss that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. It's going to be blast. And I'll have the thumbnail up for it very soon. So just, you know how it goes, guys. Check out the channel. There's always things that we try to have on the page, I should say, that's interesting, community posts and so forth. So, and if you're not
Hmm.
following me on social media, do that. Sometimes I let people know what's going on there too. This is a favorite of Dan's. All right. I knew
Nice.
that too. Yeah. Cheers to Fear saying, hell yeah, looking forward to this. Absolutely. Bullet saying Tourist
Nice.
Trap is excellent.
Yeah.
Ninja saying, I think it's on Tubi, at least in Australia. All right.
Nice.
Ge- Geechee saying, is that the one where they are buried in a garden? No, that's actually Motel Hell, which is
Yeah.
another great one. And we did a watch party for it. Check that out. We did a watch party for that. It was it was fun. It was fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Melissa saying, Night, where do you find these old movies? Well, and I always love telling this story as we start to get ready to head on out here. This whole series was something that me and Coriander, we just kind of just fell into. But for the longest time, and this is what, our 60th, 67th episode, something like
Yeah.
that.
Something.
We've been using the Teenage Slasher Movie Book as our guide. And this book has tons of slasher movies.
Hmm.
Um,
Like, there's some that I can't even find like to watch that.
mhm.
I mean, there's so many movies. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so many. I mean, covering everything
Hmm.
from the 60s all the way up to modern day.
Yep.
So that's where we decided that what we would do, which is a lot different than what we do with other movies. Other episodes that we do, we choose, either I come up with an idea or Coriander or Killian come up with an idea and we say, "Hey, we're going to talk about such and such a movie." But with this, it's by chance.
Mhm.
We literally have the movies that are in the book, we list them out,
Yep.
and we just
Yep.
go through it. No matter what it is, most times, unless it's something that we can't find
Hmm.
easily streaming. Um, and so that's why with Slasher Movie Club, you'll have an episode where we're talking about something super popular like Your Next or Urban Legends or Child's Play. And then
Hmm.
the next week, we may be talking about Blood Cult or Good Night, God Bless or Don't Go in the Woods Alone. So it's a huge
Hmm.
spectrum, but that's the fun of it to me
Hmm.
and also to Coriander. It's the fun. So
Yep.
hopefully you guys, just keep continuing to hang out with us. We enjoy it. We really, really do. It's
Mm.
fun to kind of talk about all these things. Um, and Neil, of course, saying, I own most of them. Neil is like the ultimate physical collector. I'm telling you. Um,
Nice.
and Ronan saying, can't wait for the Shining watch party. Hopefully that's the movie. It might be. You never know. Ninja saying, it's a great book. The Bearded Entertainment's in the chat. Eric, what's up, bro? Saying, I missed it. What's
Nice.
the book? It's the Teenage Slasher Movie book. and it literally lists tons and tons of slasher movies, and especially from the golden age, from 79 to 84, just a golden age of slasher movies.
Hmm.
Geechee saying, have you guys done The Omen yet? We actually have talked about The
Yeah.
Omen, and we
Yeah.
have talked about The Omen too.
Hmm.
The Omen is a favorite of ours. And actually, we've been
Mm.
talking about getting back into that and having a further discussion. So that may happen. But check out our page. I think we did The Omen. God, now it's probably been about nine
It's been
months
a
ago.
while.
But
Yeah,
it was a
man.
fantastic episode. We also had a little bit of a tribute to the late great Richard Donner, which
Hmm.
was a very emotional episode. But it's one of my favorite episodes. It truly is. Not just because of a fantastic movie, but the live chat was really great, and of course
Hmm.
having a moment to pay respects to the late great Richard Donner, who directed The Omen, Superman, Lethal Weapon, The Toy. He just had a fantastic career. The Goonies,
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
Michael saying, Knight, will you review the Maniac Cop movies? We've talked about that. Actually, I do think it's on our list for a possibility. That's you know that's the fun of this, is that there's so many great movies to talk about. Um, Ronan saying, thank you so much for entertaining the idea of the Shining Party. Absolutely. We love ideas from you guys, and if it's something that we can do, yeah, it's really really fun to have that interaction with you guys, and especially for you guys like Ronan, one of our newest channel members. Which, by the way, I do want to make sure that we say thank you so much to our channel members and also to our members on
Yeah.
Patreon. Many of you guys are here tonight, which is always a great thing. We really appreciate you guys helping us, supporting us, being here for our episodes and our watch parties and everything. It really makes a difference. It really helps us out. And actually, this whole week is kind of a dedication of sorts in general to all of our supporters on Patreon, and also for our channel members, because you guys help to keep the lights on. You guys give us
Yeah.
ideas, and there's many times, as some of you guys know, we do a lot of extra streaming, extra things like watch parties and so forth. And it's because of the fact that we have so many of you guys here that help support us. You like the videos, you share it out on social media. I see it. I Trust me, when you guys do
Nice.
it, I see it, and it's much appreciated. But that's what helps to make a channel what it is. And so thank you so much, guys. We really, really appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Um, Melissa saying, you ever do the Amityville horror or the Insidious movies? We haven't yet. We haven't yet, but that is on the list. That is on the list. And Neil saying the OG Amityville horror. Gotta love Margot Kidder. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to her as well. No doubt about that. She was just fantastic. And again, well, I won't get too deep into that. I could talk all day about it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Um, Geechee saying I'm a horror fanatic, even though it creeps some people out. Same here.
Same.
Same
Hmm.
here. And that's another reason why we really enjoy this community, because I think a lot of us kind of have that as a story to tell, that
Yeah.
not many people are as big a fan of horror as we are. So this
Mm.
is a place where we can, you know,
All join together and enjoy it
yeah,
together.
absolutely, and share in that love together. So
Yeah.
anyways, it's a fantastic thing, and like we say, we're very thankful for you guys that do support us and hang out with us. It makes a
Yeah.
big difference, and it makes for fun conversation. So but anyways, guys, we will catch you guys tomorrow night for the brass tacks. Remember, we are going to be having a blast with that. Dedication to our good friend Ginger Ninja and Joanne. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. We have our good friend Eric on with us. It's going to be a fun discussion. It's always
Yeah.
fun kind of talking about our favorite memories of some of our favorite actors and actresses in movies. So,
Hmm.
anyways, we will catch you guys tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out, guys.
Up church.